Let me tell you why I'm pissed off. Dr. J, like it's many people before Dr. J. Mm-hmm. Dr. J paved the way for Magic.
Yeah.
Magic paved the way for Mike. They wasn't making no money. Mike paved the way for me to get all that bread I was getting. I paved the way for Garnett. You know what I'm saying? Garnett paved the way for Steph to get his 250, and what's going to get 250? Ben Simmons messing the money up. Because first of all, they already think we're spoiled. They already think we don't deserve it. They already think we're this. They already think we're that. You're making $40 million, and the only reason why you're not playing is because your coach called you out. You're making us look bad. What's going to happen in the next collective bargaining agreement, they're going to start to shorten their money. It's going to be all your fault. The money goes up every 2-3 years.
Something I learned in my 24 years of life is that everything typically has its pros and its cons. Even things that's quote unquote good for you, they ultimately turn bad when mismanaged or when used in excess. For example, everybody always says, drink water, drink more water. Your body is made up of mostly water. Get your water and all that, which I'm an advocate of, obviously. But they don't tell you about the fact that you're going to be peeing until 3 a.m. when you do that. Like, everything typically has its downsides as well. I'm not trying to jinx it. And bro, I pray to God that it doesn't happen. But I have a very scary feeling that after this CBA agreement expires in 2024, we're headed towards a possible lockout. And mainly, it all stems from something that was initially good turning into something detrimental once it got abused. The NBA's player empowerment, bro, is definitely something that I appreciate, and one of the reasons why I root and support the NBA more than any other league. They actually care about what their players feel, and they take it into consideration, obviously. Entertainment wise, bro, I love the NFL. But structurally, I just can't stand how much power the owners have over the brand, and most definitely the players, aka the product. I hate referring to them as that, but that's what they are, bro. They're the ones generating the capital, not no damn owners. The NBA, pretty much over the last decade, they've done an amazing job at balancing that power between the players and the owners, and now players, they have more say-so than ever. But now it's been abused, and it's quite literally hurting the brand. Now, I hate to be that guy. Like, trust me, I love the freedom of choice. I love the free agency. It's made the NBA's brand expand to a whole new dimension. It's no longer just a play on the court. Now the free agency and all the drama around the NBA is a whole nother season. I love it. But this is a perfect example of you give somebody an inch and they take a whole damn football field. Players, more than ever, they're doing whatever the hell they want whenever they want. If they don't want to be somewhere, they're just getting the hell up out of there. And the owners, they have absolutely no leverage. There's nothing they can do about it right now. At first, I didn't think this was hurting the NBA at all. Like, I didn't think it was hurting the brand. I didn't really think about it that deep. In fact, 3 years ago, I pretty much made a video endorsing it when Kawhi forced his way out, became a rental for Toronto, and won a championship. So I didn't really think it was a problem. But now with this new Ben Simmons situation, it's taking a whole new turn. When Ben Simmons, a top 25 talent, a top 50 player in this league, and a top 10 earner, when he pretty much sticks his middle finger up at the league and his organization and completely sits out while he's perfectly healthy and uses the mental health movement as a shield to pretty much protect what he's doing, bro, it's a problem. Like, this is a problem now. About 3 years ago, Steve Kerr complained about this, and he actually warned the NBA of this new trend when Anthony Davis did this exact same thing to New Orleans. Pretty much, Steve Kerr's point was that contracts, they don't matter anymore in the NBA. Like, all that does is solidify that you're going to make that specific amount of money for that specific amount of time. The Anthony Davis situation, I understood it. He gave that organization 7 years of his career, and at the point that he was at in his career, he felt like he wanted to compete for a championship. I completely understand that. But from the owner's standpoint, I understand it as well. In 2015, they made this man the highest paid player ever, and it meant nothing. And bro, this didn't just start with AD. This has been a consistent trend for the last 5 seasons. In 2017, bro, we basically had 2 of them. Paul George, who didn't really abandon his franchise. He did his respectfully, privately, and they kind of mutually split. And another player, another star who literally blackmailed his franchise into trading him, Kyrie Irving. Reports came out that this man Kyrie threatened to have season-ending knee surgery if Cleveland didn't trade him, knowing that LeBron was on his last year contractually in Cleveland, so they had to maximize that last year. They just couldn't waste that year without Kyrie if he ultimately leave, which he did. And Cleveland had no leverage. They had to get rid of Kyrie because he said so. That's the type of stuff that I promise you, owners, they're not going to be too fond of. Now, to be fair to Kyrie and to add some context, I hate when people purposefully misrepresent the situation to make their point. So to be fair to Kyrie Irving, he did sign that extension with Cleveland July 10th of 2014, and LeBron came July 12th of 2014. So he may not have known that LeBron was going to be the guy when he signed. He probably thought he was going to be the guy. But he still had 2 years left on that contract. Like that's kind of wild to blackmail them and get your way out of town like that. 2018, we had the Kawhi situation, which I'm gonna just bypass because I can't really say if somebody was hurt or not. He feels like he was misdiagnosed by San Antonio. San Antonio feels like they cleared him, he could play. I'm gonna just leave that one alone. Plus, he won a championship in his next location, so I'm gonna give him a little pass. Then in 2019, like I said, we had AD. And then in 2020, again, to me, it hit a whole new low. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was annoyed by him. But right now, I am genuinely happy for James Harden simply because I love seeing good basketball that works, and stars having the best chance to maximize their championship window. I love it. So I'm happy for James Harden right now. And matter of fact, this man is Mr. Remind You. Look at his last 3 debuts with his new teams. He always reminds you how good he is. Like, he always does that when you think he's fat, out of shape, whatever. That's what James Harden does. But I still can't stand how this man did Houston. Like, he did them dirty. Mind you, this isn't like a LeBron situation when he got drafted by Cleveland, or a franchise that drafts a star and never builds around him. No, this was a franchise that literally treated this man like a king, and I mean from the start. First of all, just to add some context, he got traded to Houston in 2012 when he was having that contract dispute with OKC. Reportedly, OKC offered him around 4 years, $52 million. He wanted around 4 years, $60 million. And that's pretty much why he got traded. Houston said, F all that. We're going to go all in on a six-man that wasn't what he is right now. And we're going to offer him $20 more million than he even asked OKC for. They gave him 5 years, $80 million. Sounds like chump change compared to what the NBA stars are getting right now, but at that time, 10 years ago, that was a lot of money. Then basketball wise, they gave this man literally any and every single thing he could ask for. Like, you want a star? They gave him Dwight Howard. And no, Dwight Howard wasn't just this washed up player once he got to Houston. He had made 7 straight All-Star games upon his arrival to Houston, and he even made an All-Star game once he got to Houston. You're tired of this outdated ass Kevin McHale. Okay, we're going to give you the most innovative coach in the league at the time, Mike D'Antoni. You want another All-Star? We're going to give you Chris Paul. You want your old boy back from LA? We're going to get you Russell Westbrook. They gave him everything he wanted. Money. It's not like he was underpaid. They was willing to give him anything he wanted. They was willing to give him like $50 million a year just because he wanted so. Even when he was actively doing them wrong, they were still bending at his every request. Reportedly, he didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook. He wanted to play with John Wall. They traded Russell Westbrook for John Wall, and they're still paying for it right now. They can't even play John Wall, and he's one of the most expensive contracts. They gave him everything he wanted, and in the end, he stuck his middle finger up at him. Missing mandatory practices while you out with Lil Baby in Las Vegas in the middle of a pandemic while you're supposed to be at practice, coming to camp out of shape, starting fights with people at practices, not getting along with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, who I guess they said you wanted. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what the report said. I mean, you just did them dirty and they gave you so much. How could you do that? Even LeBron, one thing I respect about him, even though he did start this new free agency movement, he always respected his contract and respected his franchises. He never did teams like James Harden did his. Then Ben Simmons, bro. That's the 2021 one. We had 2020 with James Harden. Ben Simmons is 2021, 2022, 5 straight years. This has to be the most entitled, selfish, baby-fied player I've ever seen in my life. Like, Ben Simmons is. I'm so glad that Shaq said it first so I don't have to. Like, he explained it perfectly. Ben Simmons is the definition of fumbling the bag. And I ain't talking about fumbling his bag. If he want to lose money, cool, do you. I'm talking about the players after you. Like Shaq said, owners, they're greedy, bro. They want to keep their money. Don't think that they want to share all this money. Like, they want to keep their money. They don't want to pay you what you're getting paid right now. The 2011 lockout, that should have told you that. The NBPA fought tooth and nail to get you what you're getting paid right now. And now you have this selfish dude that comes in, pretty much says F the money, and now when they have their 2024 CBA agreement and they have to renew the contract, they're going to try to reconstruct things to fix the BS he's actively doing right now. Like I said, bro, just selfish. I agree with everything Joel Embiid said at the beginning of the season. Philly, they did everything roster-wise to accommodate your flaws. Like, they made moves, they got JJ Redick, they did everything they possibly could to get you in the best situation to win. Even publicly, they defended you more than I've ever seen a player get defended in my life. Doc Rivers pretty much was your lawyer last year, trying to explain why he plays you down late games down the stretch when you're clearly a liability. Then, not only do they defend you to a fault, they put their money where their mouths are and they pay you to the status that they talk about you in. They talk about you like you such a big stuff, and they paid you like that. A max 5-year, $170 million contract for a player that can't and won't even shoot. And finally, when the problem that you won't address for some reason, you won't even attempt to shoot outside of the paint, when the problem finally backfires on everybody and everybody is stuck having to address your flaw, you get mad because they're emotional and they say some things that's probably taken out of context, and now you quit and you can't play. I can't get with that, bro. That's just weak. Refusing to play for a team that you're contractually obligated to for the next 4 years. You got 4 years left on your deal with good money, handsome ass money to get paid, and you just don't want to play because they want you to shoot and they said it publicly finally. That's wild, bro. And like I said, that's going to be addressed. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like this video. I hope and pray that it doesn't come down to this, but if we have a few more of these episodes, I just don't see how it doesn't. Like, it looks like they lost complete control, bro, because they have no leverage. If you guys like this video, follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications, do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, as always, stay tuned.